everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. I specialize in Disney destinations, Universal parks and resorts, as well as Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. I am so excited to be with you this evening to share with you the final results from this year's Marvelous Madness tournament. As you know, if you've been following along, we have been looking for the best overall ride in Orlando, and we have been pitting Walt Disney World rides up against Universal Orlando rides as they stand right now. Obviously, Epic Universe is going to be opening next month, which we're super excited about. And, that will probably change the game as to how this tournament would look. But as of the parks that are open right now, we're going to be sharing with you what you all chose as the top overall ride in the Orlando area. Now, before we hop into that, I just wanted to make sure everyone remembers that in the month of April, I have a really great booking promotion going on for Disney Cruise Line. If you book your Disney cruise with me in the month of April, you have the opportunity to get up to $1,000 of onboard credit. All the details about that promotion are posted on my Facebook and my Instagram account. Or if you're interested, you can definitely reach out to me either on my social media platforms or via email at ginger@marvelousmousetravels.com, or you can find me on my blog, which is gingermmt.com. So with that out of the way, now let's jump right into the results show. And to help me reveal this, I have my husband, Evan, with me tonight.
Hey, everybody. Looking forward to this. Fun tournament coming to an end right here.
Absolutely. And our final two rides that made it to our championship matchup, which was voted on yesterday, was Guardians of the Galaxy from Walt Disney World, which is in Epcot Park. And then over on the Universal side, located in Islands of Adventure, we had Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, which is a mouthful. Most people just call it Hagrid's for obvious reasons. Both fantastic rides. Super, super different. Even though they're both coasters, I would argue that I think the ride experience is pretty different on each of these. Love them both for their own, in their own way and for what they are. So Evan, of these two, which one did you vote for?
Personally, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is the better ride. And as you look at this bracket, it's cool to look at the whole bracket and see where we've come from. I mean, there were 64 rides that people were voting on. We've now narrowed it down. And if you look, Guardians and Hagrid's, if you look at number one in both parks, as you rank them, the people agreed with you. And those two rides made it the whole way to the championship game. And so I'll zoom in on that matchup there. What do you, I mean, people wouldn't know what your number one ride is. They would only know what your number one ride is in each park. So if you had to vote, because you didn't rank this part. So if you had to vote on one of these two rides, which ride would you have chosen?
So this for me is really hard because again, I do love both of these rides. Both of them are a must do for me every time I'm, in either Universal or Disney World. But I have to say that I would have probably voted for Guardians if I had been voting, just because Guardians it's so smooth. Like it's a very smooth ride. I love the omnidirectional carts that you're in. I love that there are show elements kind of woven into the ride, which Hagrid's has that too. But I think I just enjoy the overall experience of Guardians. And honestly, for me, a big part of that ride experience is the music. I just love the soundtrack that Guardians has. Yeah, and I really think that it enhances the overall experience. So they're super close for me. Honestly, it probably would have been like 51% Guardians, 49% Hagrid's, but I do have to say that I would have given the edge to Guardians.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is my personal favorite roller coaster I've ever ridden. It's so smooth, like you said, and the music just makes it that much better. We realized tonight, the very first time I rode it, I got Disco Inferno as the music, and that was the funnest music I ever had riding that thing. I think I've had 4 of the 5 now, different songs. But well, you want to reveal the winner?
Yeah. Without further ado, our overall winner of the 2025 Marvelous Madness tournament, as voted on by all of you, is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And this was a 75% to 25% victory. So this was a pretty commanding victory for Guardians.
Absolutely.
Which is impressive, especially when you consider the fact that Hagrid's just blew all of its competition on the Universal side away pretty much the whole time. And Guardians pretty much did the same thing. And so, this is an impressive win for Guardians. I think rightfully so. I love this ride. I think it is easily the best ride at Disney World. And according to all of you, and probably me too, best ride in Orlando.
Well, and to your point there, when you look at the Universal half of the bracket, Hagrid's, the closest matchup it had, it was a 92% to 8% differential. That was the closest one Hagrid's had. Guardians had one that was like 72 to something. I mean, it was like, or 68 to something. I can't remember what it was, but it was with it and Tron. So Guardians, it went up against Soarin', Mickey's Runaway Railway, It's a Small World. It really beat It's a Small World pretty bad. Guardians, when it went up against Runaway Railway, that was a little bit closer. And then it was either Soarin' or Tron. I'll have to go back and figure out which one it was. But that was a fairly close matchup. But then when you got to this one, I mean, people spoke pretty definitively, 75% to 25%. And so Hagrid's, having just totally dominated the field prior to this matchup, I was surprised that it was that lopsided of a victory, but I do think the better ride won.
Yeah, I agree. Although I will say that, I mentioned this at the little intro, that this game is about to change completely. Our agency has been at Epic Universe for a media preview today, and there's been tons of content that's been coming out over on the main Marvelous Mouse Travels YouTube channel. So if you are not subscribed over there, it's youtube.com/Marvelous Mouse Travels. They have queue videos of several of the different rides, kind of walking through the portals, meeting Toothless in Isle of Berk. Tons of great content over there if you're interested in Epic Universe. But everything I have heard, no spoilers, but everything I have heard about particularly the Ministry of Magic ride over in Epic Universe is that it is, one of the best rides, if not the best ride, that people who go to theme parks all the time say they've ever experienced. So I'm really, really excited for that. And, would love to come back either next year or maybe in a couple of years and do this tournament again with Epic factored in, because I really do think that it's just going to change the game big time.
Yeah, that right-hand side of the bracket, the Universal half, would be totally different with Epic involved.
Yeah, for sure. And Epic Universe is opening on May 22nd. Evan and I will be there opening week with our kids. We're both, I've already turned 40. He turns 40 in June. So like our big 40th birthday present to each other was we planned just a big trip to Universal for us and our kids. And we're going to spend a little bit of time at Disney too, because we can't, go to Orlando without spending a little time at Disney World. But we're super excited to get down there and experience that. But thank you all so much again, as always, every year. It's so much fun to do this when you all vote and when you comment and when you interact with us, and just enjoy the process too. And it's always a lot of fun for me when people either message me on Facebook or Instagram about the tournament, or sometimes if they see me in person, they'll come up and talk to me about it. It's just lots of fun to know that people enjoy it and people like being involved. So again, just thank you all so much for that. And for being involved in this year's tournament. We can't wait to do it again next year, and we'll pick a different topic at that time.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.